Okay. So welcome to the Wildlife Watercolor class today. We're really excited to have you and celebrate National Public Lands Day, which is actually today. We're going to go ahead and get started. So like I mentioned before, there are some optional supplies that you can use for today's class, such as pencil, color pencils, eraser, tape, paper towels, and pens. You can grab that now if you have a chance while I just go over some other information. I've really loved your responses so far with what's your favorite part of the refuge. So just some reminders, I am going to try to keep you guys muted because it's just easier for everyone. And if you could turn off your video right now, that would be really respectful, just so people who don't have as strong connection can still be a part of this meeting.
Yes.
And I just want to say that we are recording this presentation, and then I'm going to post it on the Friends of Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge FLANWR YouTube channel. So definitely check that out. And if you want to rewind anything or rewatch any of the step-by-steps by Cecilia, that's a great option. I'm also going to go over some other information with the sponsorship and our goals and the refuge. So kind of a bunch of information in the beginning, and then we will move on to the actual painting section.
Okay.
So my name is Melissa Rebel. I'm an AmeriCorps volunteer in service to America intern, so that's called VISTA. And I am funded with the Friends of Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge. And my position is focused on community engagement, fundraising, and planning programs. So a lot to do, but definitely very exciting.
It's not working. Yeah, you're there. No, it's not. It's not the same. But she hasn't started. It's working.
Okay.
It's going right now.
And so today, if you don't know, is National Public Lands Day. It's called NPLD. Please mute yourselves if you can. I'm just going to try to mute. Okay. Should be good now. And it's through NEEF, and NEEF stands for National Environmental Education Foundation. And it's the nation's largest single-day volunteer event for public lands, which is amazing. And it was established in 1994, and it's held annually on the fourth Saturday in September. The event brings out thousands of volunteers to help restore and improve public lands across the country. So many agencies, such as Fish and Wildlife Service, National Park Service, and all across the country are participating in National Public Lands Day today. A lot of the events are now being virtual because of COVID-19, and the Friends of Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge with Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge received a special sponsorship. So we received $1,000 to send over 100 wildlife kits, wildlife watercolor kits for this event. So thank you for registering for that. We hope that that works well for you today. And we're really thankful for that sponsorship.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the Friends of Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge, also known as FLANWR, and the Refuge, which is abbreviated LANWR. So if you're not familiar with the Friends, it's a 501(c) nonprofit established in 1997 with the purpose to protect, support, and enhance the refuge. And the refuge, Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge, is located in South Texas, part of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and is over 110,000 acres and has been a refuge for 74 years. Originally founded to protect red-headed ducks, but we're also known for other species such as Apple falcons, ocelots, and we do have a lot of different trails. Our visitor center has been currently closed because of COVID-19, but you can still visit the refuge and travel the trails around if you are interested, and just take a map right in front and make sure to recreate responsibly and go and be safe. Okay, so if you want more information, you can go to Viva the Ocelot for Facebook for the Friends page. If you guys could please mute yourselves. Let me see if I can. I think I have everyone muted again. Just stay muted. It's the best for everyone. And you can also visit Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge Facebook page for cool updates. And you can visit safetexasocelots.com for the website or the official Laguna Atascosa NWR website. So definitely check those out if you're interested and want to learn more information. And so the first part of our watercolor event today is going to be focused on green jays. And so it's a common species here at Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge. They're very beautiful. They have that distinct blue color on their head and kind of that black mask, I would say, around there too. And they're known for that bright yellow color with the green on their back and then also on those tail feathers. And so these three pictures are by Robert Burton, and he's an amazing photographer and lets the refuge actually promote his photos. He's given us some to use. It's a very common species here in South Texas, but you actually can't see them otherwise. Otherwise, you have to go further south. So it's definitely a species that's iconic here, and people come all over the place. I know visitors come up to me and tell me, where can I see a green jay? And I frequently tell them that they're found near bird feeders. And since they're jay species, they are very smart and they're very good mimics. And so they can mimic many species like plain chocholacas and other species to scare them away or to bring other species towards them. They do look the same for females and males. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And I will share a fun fact with you about them later. And then I want to quickly talk about Laguna Atascosa, which is the other thing we're going to be painting today with watercolors. And so Laguna Atascosa is 3,000 acres. It's actually what the refuge is founded after. And Laguna Atascosa means muddy lagoon. It's the best way to see Laguna Atascosa at the refuge is to go to the visitor center and then take the short trail to Osprey Overlook. And that's a really great place to have lunch and see this amazing view. It's really great for sunsets as well. You can tend to see lots of different waterfowl or bird species around, potentially see an alligator or other species just around that overlook as well. And that overlook is about 1.5 miles. So it's you can actually drive to it. And that is still open at this time. So if you want to have a chance to visit and be engaged with the refuge, this is a really great opportunity as well. And so we're going to be working with Cecilia Sierra today, and she's a local RGV artist. And I'm really excited. She's done some amazing work. On this picture on the left, is her with one of her paintings, and I'm just constantly in awe with the work that she does, and that's really amazing. And if you really like her artwork and want to see more of it, definitely check out her Instagram at LA_Sierra_Arte. So that's all I have, I think, right now. Okay. And so I'll stop sharing my screen, and then we're gonna get started with Cecilia with the Green Jay first.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So here's my setup. It's watercolor paper with a pencil, a pen, a brush, eraser, and a napkin, and of course, watercolors and some water. If you have any questions throughout the process, feel free to ask through the chat so Melissa can let me know. And we'll give you guys some times in between steps. So today we're going to start with the green jay, and we're going to break it up into shapes. So like for the body, it'll be like a big oval, and then another oval for the head with a little triangle for the beak, and like a rectangle for the tail and or triangle, and some lines for the legs and the tree branch. So I'll show you guys how to do that right now. Okay. So we're going to start off with the oval. And then I'm going to do another oval. With the triangle for the beak. And I'm going to do like a small triangle for like the tail, well, a long triangle technically. Let me know if you guys need anything else. And after drawing these shapes, we're going to connect them all together to form like the outline of the bird. So we're going to add like some curves all around, like where the neck or like the head is, and like line details for the wings and the tail. So right now I'm gonna start with the back of the head. You guys can start wherever you like, and you could follow the photos that Melissa provided. So right now I'm drawing down towards the tail, and I'm gonna go up and do like a smiley face that's really wide. And then to connect the tail with the body, like here, there's extra feathers. We're gonna do another smiley face, smile, and start doing like their stomach, abdomen area, and curve it a little bit. Feel free to erase anything you may think you don't want there. Like in this case, I'm gonna erase some of the shapes so I could later add on like the patterns of the green jay.
Yeah, it looks good so far, Cecilia.
Yeah, it shows pretty good on the screen.
Yes.
Just want to double check. Okay, great.
You want louder? Can you see it? Or do you need me to? I can see it. I'm just gonna move the water a little bit.
Okay, and then I'm
How's
gonna draw
everyone
in.
doing with the sketching? Does anyone need more time for sketching? Just put it in the chat to let me know.
Yeah, let us know, please. So what I did for the tail, I drew like curved triangles in a way. Like instead of sharp corners, I just curved them. And they're like overlapping to show like the different color feathers that we'll paint later on throughout the video. Just gonna erase some stuff for the meantime.
We'll give like one more minute for people to finish sketching, and then we'll move on. Cecilia, okay?
Yep, sounds good. Gonna add the legs. They could look like stick legs for now. And your branch could be whatever shape of line that you want it to be, since branches come in all shapes and sizes.
Okay, you can continue, Cecilia. I think.
Okay. Sounds good. So the next thing we're gonna add is like the patterns on their face with the black mask, the blue eyebrow, and the blue cheek. And every bird is different, so you could be creative in your own way and how you want to express the markings on the bird. And you could draw in the eye for now, like a little circle.
Mm-hmm.
That way you know where it is when painting it. And we're also going to add some feathers along the wings. So in this case, it's just simple lines along the smiley face that we drew earlier. You could add kind of like a fish scale pattern for like those rounded wings that we see sometimes. It's optional.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we'll draw like the talons of the bird. In this case, it's the back sides of it, because that's how it shows on the photo for me. But you could do the legs however you like. And I'm going to add more of a shape to the branch. How's everyone doing so far? Everyone doing good? Feeling comfortable?
I think it's good for now.
Okay.
And then just keep going.
All right, cool. So the next thing we're going to do is apply color. In this case, you're going to use more water than paint, so make sure to wet your brush really well. And I'm going to give examples on how watered down watercolors look like. So in this case, we'll start with a yellow green, like a lime green, which should be available in your paint palette. And you're just going to water it down, and it's going to look like droplets of water that are like slightly colored. I'm going to do an example here. Does it show, Melissa?
Yes, you can see that.
Okay, cool. So it looks really light on the paper, guys. It's really important with watercolors to start light and then go to dark. That way it's easier to apply different colors throughout the process.
Look, Daddy. Look,
So
Daddy.
we're gonna start
Look,
applying
look.
our watercolor green across the bird in the areas that it is green. Mine looks a little brown, but that's just my paint palette. And you could also add yellow if you like to get more of that yellow lime green. It'll blend nicely. And if you press the brush down against the paper, you get wider brush strokes. If you're interested in like covering things, if you're ever in a rush, like painting somewhere. I'm gonna paint a little bit of the tail. And while you're painting with watercolors, it's good to switch places. So like while the green dries, we could paint the branch with like a brown, a green, a gray, or a yellow. It could be any color because branches do come in different colors. And same technique, water down the colors so it's light and not too dark. And that way you have an idea where you could apply more brown later on or different patterns and brush strokes. And sometimes you don't even have to get more paint. You could just simply add water to the paper and it spreads out the colors. So now the green should be dry a bit, and we could add a second layer of green and or yellow. So in this case, I'm gonna do a little bit of yellow mixed with a little bit of green. watered down, and then you see, so that's how it should look. And I'm going to put it on the area of like the belly because their bellies do look a little bit like yellow-green. And if you have too much paint on your paintbrush, no worries. You could always add water and it'll like spread out evenly. Or it'll make like these really cool color combinations. And then now I'm going to go in with a little bit of dark green. Here's the example. And do the top wing. Because there's different shades and like the shadows and stuff changes colors. Also, if you ever do want to like add like different art materials to your paintings, you could always go back in and add details with crayons, color pencils, markers, a simple office pen or pencil to add detail and different textures. And you could use different types of greens and yellows because every bird's different. So I'm adding a little bit of yellow on like the tail because when they fly, you get to see like their tail feathers. Some of them are yellow and it looks really pretty. And once again, while that's drying, we move on to another area. In this case, it'll be the blue. And you could go as dark as you want with the blue. I'm just going to do one layer. If you want to add several colors of blue or add like a different like texture with color pencils or crayons, you could do a lighter layer. So we're going to paint the cheek with the eyebrow and the top of their heads. Sorry for the silence. Also, when there's two different colors, you could add a little bit of water and they'll blend with each other. And you could spread it out and it'll slowly merge all into one color. Also, still using blue, I'm gonna add a little bit on the tail because in my photo, you could see a little bit of blue along the tail feathers. So I'm gonna add that. And then I'm gonna move on to the legs. And for the legs, you could always use brown or black or even like a pen if you like later on. And you just press the brush against the paper and it should make a steady line for you guys. And you just curve it like if their talons or feet are holding onto the branch. And while that's drying, you could add different brush strokes for like the branch in terms of the shadow and patterns. So I'm going to add like a dark brown line at the bottom to show like the dark side. And you don't need a lot of water for this. And so it shows like shadows. How's everyone doing so far? I hope you all are liking it, by the way.
Yeah, let's just pause a second and let people catch up or
Yeah.
put
We're
together.
doing good on time.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We should be good.
So no rush.
Awesome. So you guys can take this time to fill up your bird, like with more greens and yellows and blues. We'll do the black mask at the end. Just the way I'm doing brush strokes on the branch, you could do it on their wing, like for like the little feathers, if you like. Okay. Also, if you guys ever like want to pursue watercolor even more and like go visit Laguna de Escosa, they do sell watercolor kits at Walmart that are like travel friendly. So you could take the brush that holds water in it and different watercolors with little notebooks. It's something fun to carry. You could even use it on the planes, like after passing TSA. You could just fill up your brush with water. You could paint while you're on the plane because it's not too messy. And it's something to do. Or even in the car. So right now I'm just adding some yellow.
If you want to move on to the mask, go ahead, Cecilia.
Okie dokie. So the next thing we'll work on is the darkest part of this drawing. In this case, it's the mask. With your black watercolor paint, make sure to water it down and it'll look like a gray color on the paper. That way you could use it as the gray for the beak. And you could press your brush against the paper and you get like a nice steady stroke once again. And if you get hesitant with painting around the eye and the blue of the cheek, you could always use a black color pencil, black crayons, markers, or a pen in case you don't feel comfortable with the paintbrush. Also, you could do little dabbing motions with your brush around like the really like close, tight areas of the eye and the markings. And if you just move the brush slightly, it'll move the watercolor paint around the paper smoothly. And you don't need a lot of water either, so you could get it like really nice and dark on the pattern. Now for background purposes, you could leave it white. You could paint like a solid color around it. You could add a lot of watercolor that's like watered down and then do like drops of other colors that will mix together. And it creates like a really cool like gradient or ombre effect. Kind of like tie-dye. You could let this dry. For their eye, I know it looks kind of dark in the photos, but I'm just gonna add like a small smiley face circle of brown, which allows to show a little bit of white on the paper for like the little glistening of their eyes and the white of their eyes, so they look like more lively in the drawing. And whatever's left over on the brush, I'm just gonna go back and add more details. You could even use brown on the beak if you like. For like a different color. So yeah, that's our green jay. We still got a good 10 minutes if y'all want to keep adding things or if you want me to answer any questions that you guys have.
Yeah, if you guys put any questions that you have on the Green Jay specifically, you can put in the chat now, and then I can tell Cecilia. She just she can't see the chat, so.
Yeah, because I have my camera view on this. Also, if you guys want to buy like better paintbrushes, I recommend to hit up your local Walmart. They have really good variety of brushes with different sizes for like $4 to $5. And they have some pretty good watercolor paper. I think it's the same brand that we use to provide for you guys. Canson Mixed Media or just watercolor. For future things, like if you want a nice, clean, even background, you can measure stuff with a ruler and you could outline it with tape. There's like those little washi tapes, as they're called, for like scrapbooks, and they come in different patterns. You could just put it around your piece and color it in and take off the tape for like a really nice, clean outline of your background. With pens, with mine, I'm just going to show an example real quick on like how to outline things. And it just make things pop out a little bit. You could use different color pens if you have any, like green or yellow, blue. And you just trace things over that you drew with pencil or with the paint.
Cecilia, we do have a question on
Okay, cool.
what is the color for the head. So if you just want to go over to
Yeah. So the color for the head, I use blue on the top. And when it meets the green, you just add a little bit of water and it'll mix by itself. And then we have a blue eyebrow, the eye. I know it doesn't show much, but it's there. And also the blue for the cheek, which is kind of like a triangle.
Awesome. Thanks, Cecilia.
No problem, guys. At Walmart, I recently found like a travel kit of watercolors. It's actually pretty cool. It came with a brush and like, it's like a little sponge pad, I guess, to dry the brush. And it's like, it just opens and it has different colors. So it's like at Walmart. And it has like a little paintbrush that holds water. These are great if you're traveling to places. And I think it's a good starter kit. It was like $8, I think. It has a lot of variety. So it helps, like if you ever want to go birding, you just carry that with you and draw like what you see, whether it be like super exact or abstract. Just express yourself.
Yeah, thanks for that, Cecilia. We do have a question about where the birds are found. And so otherwise, other than South Texas, you can find them more south into Mexico, into like Central America. But just in North America, the only place you can really see it is in South Texas. That's why it's so special here. But you can also see it in South America as well. So, but they are a little bit different with color and calls and habitat use. So each kind of area has a little bit different of the green jays there, if that makes sense. So I think that's good for the green jay. If you want to go ahead and get started for Laguna Atascosa, we can get started on that, Cecilia.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. If y'all still need to finish, well, we could always come back to it towards the end. So I'm gonna move on to another page for the Osprey Overlook, which is a place at Laguna Atascosa where you could see Laguna Atascosa.
Let me just say real quickly, if you want to get up and stretch really quick, and move around a bit, go ahead and do that. My fun fact for green jays is since they're so smart, they're actually one of the few North American birds that can use tools, and so they actually use sticks like from their beaks and stuff, and like peel off bark of trees, which is super impressive if you ever see it. So definitely don't underestimate green jays. That's for sure.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
You can go ahead and get started, Cecilia. That's totally fine. It seems like people are
Okay.
ready.
All right, sounds good. So when doing landscapes, it's important to draw a horizontal line, which will define the horizon that you usually see when you're out in nature, right? And we'll draw a second line underneath the first one to show what's called foreground, or like whatever's like closest to you. And this will help define distance when painting the landscape. So we have our sky. I'm gonna write it here, and then water and land. So we have these three different elements or like features that we see out in nature. In this case, feel free to use whatever colors you want for the sky. It could be a sunset, sunrise, or just a regular nice cloudy day with blue skies. Personally, I'm gonna use blue. And we'll start off with the background, which will both be with water in the sky, it's going to be blue. And the grass land area will be like yellows and greens. Usually for these, I use a brush around this size. It's kind of like a medium size brush. It helps spread color evenly, but I know you guys probably have a brush like this. It doesn't focus. Yeah, like this. So, or similar. So we're going to use this, and I'll show you all how to take advantage of it when you're limited on brushes. So we're going to start off with a lot of water. We're going to water down our blue much as possible. And it's going to look really dark in the beginning, but that's okay. See, look, because the more you spread it out and add water, the lighter it gets. And you could use some dark spots. Press the brush against the paper, by the way. And you just do it in a circular motion, add water, and repeat that same thing with the brush, pressing it on the paper in circular motion. It helps spread things out, and then it leaves like a circular texture for the clouds. Right now, I'm just going to my water without using paint, but you can do however you like. And it's starting to lighten up the color and creating like a light blue. And with watercolors, if it dries and if it's recently dried, you could actually reactivate the color with the water to spread a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do for right now with the blue of the sky, in my case, and blue of the water. But feel free to use oranges and pinks if you want to combine those colors for sunsets. And you just press the brush as a whole and just move it around in a circular motion. You could leave some of the paper, like the white of the paper, dry if you like for clouds. If not, that's okay. And if you have a napkin at hand, you could get your paper really wet with the brush, and you fold up your napkin a little bit. You just dab it. I don't know if it really shows, but it kind of made like a really cool cloudy effect.
You
You
can
could use a
kind of see it.
napkin or a cotton ball. Okay, Melissa, cool. But you could, that's optional if you like. Okay. And right now I'm going to add more blue, but in this case it's for the horizontal line of the water. And this could be either really dark or really light. And I'm going to combine a little bit of lime green and or dark green to the water, because sometimes water doesn't look blue. Sometimes it has little hints of greens in it, and it looks really cool. I think if you add enough blue, it'll create like almost like a turquoise or teal effect to things. Right now I'm just using just water. Water's your best friend in watercolors because it helps mix new colors or textures in the painting. Try a little bit of green. Just a little bit of water so everything like mixes together. And while this dries, I'm gonna move on to the grass. We'll be moving back and forth throughout these layers, throughout this process. For the grass, I'm just gonna use like a lime green and like with a combination of yellow or brown to like symbolize like the grass and the sand or the dirt in the area. And it's the same thing. You could water it down so you have a lighter layer. And once again, with these lighter layers, you could always go back with different mediums later on, or like paint really bold, dark brush strokes. Also, forgot to mention, but this is also optional. You guys can add our iconic yuccas, which are like kind of like spiky palm trees. I don't know how to explain it, but they look really cool. And you could just use some brown paint and either draw a straight line or a curvy line of brown. And it doesn't matter if it's really dark or really light. And you could just press the brush and do like a wide brush stroke for like the trunk of the yucca. And you could add as many as you like. You could also draw it in if you want, if you don't feel comfortable painting it. Okay. And a little bit of green.
We can pause for a minute just in case people need more time if they want to
Yep.
get
Sounds
to that
good.
point.
if Cecilia talks again, we'll be able to see her instead of you.
Okay.
So she just needs to say hello or
Oh.
something.
Sorry. Okay, hello. Can you all see it? Sorry. So yeah. So it's a little close up on like how things are looking. Right now it's drying. I think when we go back to the sky, I'm gonna show you all a technique. It's optional, but it's gonna be on like how to do clouds, like the outline of it. If you guys have any questions throughout this process, let me know in terms of like color references or like combining things.
There was
Are
a
we good?
question on if you have a suggestion if they don't have black paint.
If you don't have black paint, you could either mix like brown with blue and it'll make like a really dark color, or you could always use a pen or a pencil, color pencils or crayons, and it'll make your piece like a mixed media piece, which is pretty cool. Also, I think in the future, if you do want to invest in more colors, they do sell like watercolors in tubes. And so that way you could add like black to your palette. Like my palette doesn't have black, so I have to add it from like this little tube once in a while when I run out. But they sell something like this at Walmart with different colors. You could build your own travel kit. Like I have my extra paints up here. Okay, for clouds. You get a little bit of blue or whatever color you want your cloud to be. It could be like those little random dark purplish gray clouds or those hot pink clouds if it's like sunset. And you're just gonna press the brush on the paper. And mine's really dark, but as you spread it out, it's darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. I'm just doing little arches or like wiggling the brush. I'm gonna go back with water and just add water to this. And as I'm moving the brush, it moves the colors that you added. And it kind of looks like those clouds where like you see the tops of them, but then they slowly like fade out. And you could do multiple, you could have fun with it and do one behind it, like if like one's in front of the other. Or you're just pressing the brush against the paper. So mine looks like one of those days like after like a rainy day. And if you want to lighten things, you could just, and the paper's really wet, you just go in with your napkin and you press it. And or dab it slightly and it'll absorb the color. And for the water, if you want to add like lines, you can if you want like the movement of like the currents that you sometimes see, or like the shadows that clouds cast over them. Like that's optional too. Hopefully everyone's pretty up to speed, sort of. I'm not going to complete the grass section on mine, but for you guys, I'm just going to show you different brush strokes that we can use for the grass. So you could either lightly put your brush, this is not dark enough. You don't need to use a lot of water. If you want to, you can to make it light. You just lightly put your brush and it makes like small little strokes. This could be like for different types of plants, you know, with small leaves, for it to say. Or you could use long strokes. Oh, it's focusing on my hand, sorry. You just use long strokes for like the long grass that you see on your walks, which I think is guinea grass. You could even do circles or ovals. Like, you guys can put this anywhere you like. And this could be like the cactus you sometimes see while walking on trails. Just green circles and ovals. And then there's some grasses that kind of look like a yellow brown or a yellow green. You could just do like quick brush strokes. Sometimes they come out really thin, sometimes they don't, but that's okay. And while this, like, let's say we start from our right and move to our left, by the time we're done, the right side will be dry, and you could go over it again with other greens, and that could create like a sort of layer of sorts. Yeah, mine's still too wet, but I'm gonna continue. And you just get creative with your brush strokes as you go. And then you could even have like little dots or little mini brush strokes for like those little shrubby plants that you see. You could even add brown for like the rocks, I guess, or gravel on the trails. And or like resemble dirt and sand. Now I'm gonna move on to the yucca. It's based like for the leaves and like the dried up leaves you see on the trunk. It's kind of the same as what we did with the grass. You're just gonna press your brush and do wide strokes. And try your best to make pointed edges as like what you see out there. They're very pointy. You can use different shades of green. They don't have to be super straight. So yeah. Also, when doing the yucca, if you want to add like the white flowers, just leave like an oval or like some space available for that if you like. So like, I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Just doing wide brush strokes. Like you press it down in the beginning, you slowly lift it up if you want to get like a pointed edge. So I'm leaving this spot for the flowers that I'll draw in later with like a pencil or a pen. Or you could use yellow for the flowers. And then I'm going to move on to the trunk, and it's the same thing, except with the textures. They're all kind of facing down in a way. Sometimes they kind of face up. You could also, while you're pressing your brush on the paper, you could twist it a little bit, and it creates like cool lines. They're like kind of shaky, but they still look really cool. Or you could just do simple brush strokes. And you could use a little bit of water, that way it comes out really dark. Or vice versa, however you like, if you want them light. I'll put this down, but this is how it kind of looks. And then once you all are like good with your break, I'll show you all how like I draw my flowers. Everyone could draw their flowers differently. I'll just show you like how I do mine, and I'll be using a pen in my case. Also, if you're interested, feel free to share pictures with Melissa if you like, so we could share them with you guys. It'd be nice to see how everyone expresses themselves. And I think we're doing good on time. Yeah, we are. Oh, that's great. So any questions, just let us know. Or if you need to see it up close, I'll put it closer to the camera. Do people see the screen or do I need to talk? I don't know.
You're good right now, Cecilia. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I
Great.
was just trying to allow people to see it. I don't want to talk too much and disrupt that. But if you want to go ahead, I mean, we have time, so showing them how to draw the flower would be really cool.
Okay, great. So, I'm gonna close. So this is my pen, any office pen, and I'm just gonna do like a simple, like 3-petaled flower. I mean, that's just how I view them sometimes. I think they're upside down or like they droop downwards. I don't remember. So they could be placed in different areas if you like facing different ways. They're really pretty to see in person. Also, if you don't want to draw flowers exactly, you could just do like little doodles if you want, like little curly lines. And if you want to add, like for me, if I want to add a background behind it, I'll probably like just use a little bit of blue lightly so it doesn't water down like the pen. If you use pencil, you should be good. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of a background. Also, a cool technique, we'll share a watercolor video later on, I think, on like watercolor tips from YouTube. People use crayons. So you could draw the flowers with crayons and you paint over it with watercolor. And the watercolor only paints the paper, not the crayon itself. It looks really cool. I recommend for y'all to try it out. But yeah, that's how you draw flowers. For the grass and stuff, you could always go back with a pen or a pencil and draw like lines with like the leaf or the white grass, just because, like, to add texture. You could add silhouettes of birds or an alligator if you want, you know, like if it's like roaming around the area. You just have fun with it. Could add circles. It could be like those little insects that are flying around in an abstract manner. Also, as an extra thing for your horizon, if you want to add, like, sometimes at Laguna Escosa, you could see the opposite side of it. And it looks like islands, but I think it's just like one continuous landmass with windmills. Well, like you could add like the green to it. Like right up. Okay, trying to get organized. I'm gonna add a little bit of green on mine, but it's optional. And I think it looks really cool because it looks like, oh, you're looking like super far away. But this is a nice way of like landscapes to show like the different distance you see while you're out there exploring with your landscape, your sky, your horizon of the water, and your foreground of the grass with the plants and stuff. I'm just going to add on to mine for the meantime. If y'all want to draw like a little armadillo or a tortoise, you can. But yeah. I hope this was relaxing for you guys. By the way, for me, it's always relaxing. It's a good way to de-stress. Something different. Also, you could go back to the water if you like and just do like brush strokes of blue and water them down a little bit if you want to add like more shades of colors or textures.
Hi everyone. So we're gonna do like for 5 minutes, just do a little bit more details if you want to add any more. And then if you're interested in sharing your artwork with anyone and turning on your camera. That would be a really fun opportunity for us all to see it if you're willing. I am recording this presentation, so if you're not okay with sharing it with that way, I totally understand. And then we'll have a couple questions if anyone has any, and then I will conclude the presentation. So not that much more time here, but we'll give 5 more minutes for, or 4 minutes now for just clearing up and adding any more details that you need.
Cecilia has to talk again to make the computer
hello?
go.
Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry. What else? If you all are interested, I would appreciate if y'all would maybe send pictures to Melissa of y'all's artwork with your name if you like, or like just so we could all share like different like everyone's experience. I think that'd be cool. So if you all want to check out more of my artwork and are in the Brownsville area, I am taking a part in a current exhibition at the historic Brownsville Museum for Hispanic Heritage Month. There's a lot of local artists there, and we're just celebrating poetry and music and art on display. If you all are interested and want to go out, it's a very big reception hall, like just to walk around. Also, if y'all want to see more of my art or want to buy stuff related to the RGV nature stuff, I do have an Etsy at La Sierra Arte, and you just type that. There's also my Instagram, same name, at La Sierra Arte, and it has a link in the bio for my shop. And it have the Green Jay video posted there too, or like if y'all saw it on Facebook, it came out pretty nice. That's also another video y'all can like pause, watch it, draw, and so forth about like the details of the Green Jay. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed it and that it motivates you to express yourselves a little bit more throughout these days while we're here at home. I don't know. Do I need to keep talking?
I mean, I can, if people are good, then I can just talk about a few other things and see if anyone else.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so does anyone want to turn on their camera and show their picture in person to everyone? They can do that as well if they'd like. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. That looks really good.
Ooh, I like it.
Please say something when you share, because then we can see it big. Otherwise, it's a little thumbnail.
Yeah.
Hello. I don't know if
Oh, I
it's,
like it.
can you see me? I don't know if it's showing or not. I miss it. I grew up down there. I miss it a lot. I miss the bird watching. My mom, I would go with Father Tom and my mom out there, and I've been drawing birds since 1984, I think. So thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, guys. They all look so lovely.
Hello. I'm here from Toronto, so I don't have the same kind of trees as you guys. I did more of a grassy type of thing that I would find by Lake Ontario.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Here's my landscape with a stormy sky.
Good job.
Very nice, guys.
one's
That's so
ours.
exciting.
My parents and I did one together, so we all shared a palette and we each did one.
Oh, that's good.
Belinda, can you introduce yourself so you can get it?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, we're a little bit on the awkward part of the light, but this is our son Jake, and he just put in his picture. So
Very nice. We could see it.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not finished, but this one's mine. So can you put it up? Hijo?
Ooh, I like how you tried out the clouds.
Yeah, wasn't working that well, but I tried.
Well, it's good. I mean, like everyone could express themselves differently, you know?
Thank you. This is a lot of fun. I do love to paint. I just, since the children were born, I haven't had time. You know, it's like mommy time. So with children, it's always them first. But it's good to be able to try to relax like this. So I've been wanting
I'm
to
glad.
do this again.
I haven't ever seen her do watercolor paints, but I have seen her oil paints. Like,
Oh, cool. Oil
Harvested.
painting's pretty neat.
I do like that a lot. But I've been wanting to try watercolors for a long time. Thank you. This is a fun class.
Yeah, no problem. And thanks to Melissa for helping organize all of this, you know?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to share?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jonathan. My siblings drew these. This is our first time using watercolors. Hi.
Wait, I want to end it.
Oh, hi.
What is it?
Yeah, you have to speak so that it'll focus. Hi. Does it see me?
Yes,
I
we
don't know
can
if it
see
can
you.
see us. Okay. So my parents and I shared the palette, and we all did it together. Show your stuff.
Oh, nice.
Show your stuff.
That's wonderful. Look at that.
So all of us were sharing a palette and like just 3 brushes. So it all worked out.
good.
First time.
It all
yeah,
works
it's
out.
my mom's first time painting. And but have you painted before, Dad?
Well, my numbers.
Oh, okay. So this will
Good work.
less effort time.
Y'all
This
did
is
a
really
great
fun.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Hi,
everyone
everyone.
is beautiful.
I drew my bird with his mouth.
Hang it on there.
This is our daughter, Savannah. She wants to show you. She actually drew a little bird about 2 months ago that used to visit our windowsill, her windowsill. Show her, Mom.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Aw.
I called him Pecker because he always likes to peck at my brother's window. He's a tropical kingbird. I thought he was a blue jay. I mean a green jay.
Oh. It's pretty neat. That's a creative way of like using the like basic shape of a bird. You could always change the colors and the patterns to it to show like your favorite bird.
So we have our green jays. I don't know if everybody can see me. So we have our green jays. And then we have our scenery. This was a very fun event. We look forward to seeing you guys again someday soon. Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing.
I drew my blue jay with its mouth open. Get a
Oh,
worm.
cool.
These are ours.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Sussy.
Hi, Kano family. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much, Sussy.
Yeah, no problem. Hope you all enjoyed your watercolor kits, everyone, with your stickers and like the informative pamphlets.
It was awesome. I love the sticker.
Okay, does anyone else want to share quick before I kind of do one last thing to announce?
We shared a palette. Let me get, here's ours.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so I just have one last thing that I want to talk about before we end. I'm actually going to share my screen again. The recording will be emailed. I'll also post it on the Facebook event and also on, probably have it shared on through Facebook. So through the Friends Facebook page or the Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge Facebook page. But I do not work Sundays and Mondays, so the earliest it will go out is Tuesday. Just keep that in mind. So one last thing I want to share with you guys. So the second part of this sponsorship that we received through NEAF is we were able to put on a Halloween art contest. And I encourage you guys all to participate. It's free. All entries are due on October 25th at 11:59. And the Friends of Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge just wants to have an opportunity for you to show your watercolor skills that you learned, or any other art that you have that connects to the refuge, such as photography, or if you like digital media, or if you like color pencils or crayons, anything is totally fine to enter. All you need to do, each person can only submit 4 entries. Make sure to stay safe, follow local CDC guidelines, and practice social distancing. It must connect to the refuge, and there's 3 categories: habitat, species, and Halloween fun. And we have some really cool prizes. We'll have an adult and kid winner for each of the categories, and the adult winners will receive a custom tote bag with a really cool design for National Public Lands Day. And the kid winner will receive a fun activity box from us. So we'll put some coloring pages, some cool ocelot stuff, some more stickers. Everyone loves stickers, pencils, and a whole bunch of fun activities. And both of those prizes will be mailed free to you. We will also share the winners on the Friends of Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge Facebook page on Halloween. So that's definitely a really fun opportunity. We will announce it soon, but I'm announcing it first to all of you guys. You have to email the photos of entries to me at info.friends.lanwr@gmail.com with your name, phone number, and category name. And then in the subject line, please put Halloween art contest. So that's all I have. Thanks again for participating. We really appreciate it. I hope you guys had fun. And thanks again, Cecilia, for teaching us how to use watercolor.
Yeah, no problem, guys. So here's my face. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us all, and I look forward to seeing who participates in the Halloween art contest. So yeah, make sure to check us out on YouTube at their page. I forgot the name.
It's the YouTube is FLANWR, which is the acronym for the Friends group. And that will be uploaded on Tuesday. So look for that, and then you can rewind and do the class over again if you'd like. So I'm going to end the meeting a bit early, but thanks again for all of you guys participating.
Have a nice weekend, guys. Stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.